Hi, fifth grade. Welcome to week 6. We are ready for your learning path for the week. All right. I want you to take a look at your tasks. They're the same as always. You're going to complete all the sides for the week in this learning path. Remember, you can spread them all out. You're going to complete your group learning path slides, as well as your iReady lessons and quizzes once per day. All right, at the end of the week, you should have all of that turned in. Now, we're covering a lot of different standards this week, but I want you to really focus on our objective. I can apply the volume of a 3D shape and I can find the volume of a 3D shape and apply my knowledge of multiplication. So you're going to have to use multiplication to figure out the volume of 3D shapes this week. Now, what is volume? Volume is the measure of units that it takes to fill an object. So any object that we can fill up has a volume, and we can measure that volume with lots of different kinds of units. You can see that this rectangular prism is measured with kind of square block units. And when we measure the volume, we know exactly how much space that object can fill up inside of it. So I want you to pause this video and watch this video clip that's attached on slide 8, and then come back to this video. All right, so by now you've understood that we really need to understand the 3 measurements listed here. We need to understand the length of an object, the width of an object, and the height of an object. So make sure that you remember the length is just this bottom measurement down here. Width is kind of from the bottom to the back, and height is from the bottom to the top. We've got to measure all of those things because then we can use the volume equation. The volume equation is very similar to the area equation because you're going to multiply this length. This pink rectangle has a length of 24 feet, a width of 10 feet. So you're going to multiply 24 times 10, but then you also have to multiply it by the height. So you're doing length times width times height. So you can see that I figured out the length, 24, width, 10, and height, 12, of this rectangular prism by multiplying it all together. Now, I used this strategy where I multiplied 24 times 10 first to get 240, and then I broke up 12 into 10 and 2. So then all I had to do was 240 times 10 and 240 times 2. Then once I added those numbers together, I got the total answer, which is 2,880 feet. Now make sure you remember we have to do cubed for volume measurements because we're not only measuring the kind of multiplying of 2 numbers, but we're multiplying it by 3 numbers, and that makes it be cubed. I just want you to remember that when you see this little 3, that means you're taking the unit, which is feet, and you're cubing it. Okay? If you don't know how to type this little 3 on your work this week, that's okay, but I'll put in a little video to show you how. So you're going to remember all of the names of these 3D shapes by matching the names of the 3D shapes to the picture. On this, you can drag the labels, and then you're going to match the equation to the right shape. But really, I want you to take a look at this video. I'm going to use objects at home to measure the volume of some objects that I have. I want you to do the same thing. So take a look at this video, then you're going to do the same thing as me and paste a picture of measuring the volume of an object that you found at home right on this slide. All right, everyone, we're going to understand volume with some objects at home. I have this glass jar, and I'd like to understand its measurement of volume. So I could take like a ruler and try to measure this exact length and width and depth, but that's going to be pretty tricky. Let's just understand it with some basic objects we can find. I found some puff balls. So I'm going to fill up this container. Remember, volume is just the measure of how much space there is inside of the object. And we're just going to see how many puff balls it takes to fill this up. Now, this isn't a perfect measurement, but it kind of just gives us a visual of how much it takes to fill up an object. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes, 7 puff balls to fill up kind of the bottom layer, but it's not really full yet. So let's just use a few more. I kind of just use these big ones. Maybe if we do a whole nother layer of the big ones, it'll fill up. That's another 7. I kind of feel like it could fit more. Let's use some of the smaller ones. So that was 7 plus 7, that's 14. 5, 10, 15. I don't know, that's getting pretty full. So that's the measurement of the volume of this jar in puffballs. It's not a real measurement that you're going to use a lot, but I want you to see if you can find objects at home like this and measure their volume. All right, friends, so now you're ready for day 3. You're going to look at slide 18 and 19 for day 3. You're going to look at these different shapes that are built out of blocks. Today, you're going to drag and drop this answer to the units of, what is the volume of all of these different shapes. So you just have to drag and drop the numbers, but you need to make sure to count them carefully. We're going to look at a video real quick of how I'm going to recreate these shapes, well, really only this one, and then also this shape on slide 19, and show you what volume looks like when we're using real objects in the world. Then you're going to come back and complete these slides. Okay, everyone, so I luckily have some of these blocks, these cube blocks that we sometimes use at school. I have some of these at home. You might have some blocks that are like this, or some blocks from little siblings that you could use to try to build these shapes that you see in the slides. So I'm going to try to build one of the shapes from the first slide. I can see that it has 1, 2 blocks, and then 1 block kind of sticking out on this 3rd one. And then I'm pretty sure there's nothing on this side, but I can see that there's 1 more block sticking up right here. So you can see that this shape, this creation of blocks, matches the first picture. So how many units is the measurement of the volume of this shape? How many units did we use? 1 block is a unit. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The volume of this shape is 6 blocks because that's how much it takes to fill up the whole thing. 6 is the answer for the first shape. Let's see. I'm going to make the last shape on slide 19. It's a big cubed object, and it looks like it has 3 on the bottom for the width, or I'm sorry, for the length. And then it looks like it goes 3 this way. So 1, 2, 3 for the width. And let's see. 1, 2, 3 for the height. So I'm starting to make it. Remember, this is for slide 19. Then I've got to kind of fill in the rest. So you can see already how many blocks it takes to build the base layer of this shape. But I've got to keep building it up. How many was on the base layer? 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So 9 on the base layer, then I've got to build it all up for these layers. So let's see if I can do this quickly. Here's another layer. So now we've got 9 on the bottom plus 9 in the middle, plus I need another 9 on top. See if we can build it up. Oh, it came apart. All right, and here we go. This is the cubed object on slide 19, and you're being asked to find its volume. So remember, volume is length times width times height. So I should see you writing on a sheet of scrap paper or maybe even on this slide. Oops. You should be writing 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 we already talked about is 9. So what is 9, this base layer? 3 more times. All you have to do is 9 times 3. All right, friends, you are ready for day 4. I'm not going to show you what to do on day 4. I want you to do it without my support. I want you to find the volume of this shape by using the volume equation. Remember, go back to earlier slides if you need help. And then you are going to match these shapes all in the right category. Is 9 cubic inches the right volume for this shape? Is 8 cubic inches the right volume for this shape? You're going to continue this independent practice for day 4. Then on day 5, you're going to take your quiz. You're going to post your iReady lessons, and you are all done. Way to go, 5th grade. I can't wait to see what you create.